I got you.
Now I suppose you're going to tell the boys about this great new Dodge Red Ram V8 engine. And boy, is this an engine. 140 horsepower, 7.1 to 1 compression ratio. Lots of get-up.
Hey, how about giving me a chance to say something, too?
If it's about this engine, go to it.
So the history of the Dodge Hemi engine is actually pretty long and complicated. I'll keep this as short as possible. In 1952, Dodge came out with its very first V8 engine. The Hemi was based on the 1951 Chrysler Hemi design. It was just downsized for Dodge's smaller model cars. Before we get into how the Hemi actually worked, I want to show you guys some really badass history on the engineering behind the Hemi. So Chrysler actually developed an experimental Hemi engine for the Republic P-47 Thunderbolt fighter aircraft. The 14-2220 was an inverted V16 rated at 2,500 horsepower. In addition to the aircraft engine, Chrysler and Continental worked together to develop an air-cooled AV-1790 5B V12 Hemi engine used in the M47 Patton tanks. That's right, they put these Hemis in fighter aircrafts, in tanks. Damn. After the first V16 and V12 manufactured, they designed the Firepower Hemi, which was a 331 cubic inch, 5.4 liter, and produced a whopping 180 horsepower. Just to give you an idea of how far ahead of the curve Chrysler was, in 1951, there were plans for Plymouth to create a dual overhead cam Hemi V6 displacing 235 cubic inches. It would be 3.9 liters, and it was a fuel-efficient alternative to Ford's V8, and it would replace the iconic Flathead 6 218-230, which I've owned many of those engines, and they're great engines. Okay, so enough blabbing. What exactly makes a Hemi a Hemi? So the Hemi gets its name from its combustion chamber. It's actually inside of the head itself. Nothing about the block on a Hemi is any different from any other engine. As a matter of fact, the later model Poly Chrysler engines, you can take a Hemi head off of a Hemi and put it on a Poly and turn it into a Hemi. If you flip the head over, you'll see that the inside chamber is dome shaped. So now you're asking, what exactly does this do? To sum this up and make it as simple as possible, the cylinder head combustion chamber being domed allows for larger valves. By putting the valves on either side of the combustion chamber also allows for improved airflow. Another advantage of this dome shape is it allows less heat to escape from the combustion chamber. If less heat escapes, you get a more powerful kablamo on your power stroke. But it's as simple as that. The only thing that makes a Hemi is a dome shape inside of the combustion chamber, valve spacing, larger valves, which all combined creates a more efficient burn. If you guys have any questions or you like this content, give me some recommendations on what you would like to hear about next. I'd really love to get into like the 426 Hemis, the 392s. Dodge really made history with some of the early Hemi and cars such as the 1955 Chrysler 300C. That's right, just like the modern Chrysler 300C. You know, the ones you see all over like urban areas. In 56, the New Yorker and Imperial had a 354 Hemi, which made 355 horsepower, and it was the first American V8 to ever be rated at 1 horsepower per cubic inch.
So much longer than last year.
It is. Nearly 4 inches longer in some models.
Oh.
So if you want me to do some more Hemi content,